Hi guys, a few of you asking what types of combs that I use, so I thought I'd do a review on the Quantum T. I'm not sure if the Quantum T actually just came out in the market last summer or not, but that's certainly when I got my hands on it. And it's, I think the Quantum Pluses as it came off the market. So this is your full thickness Quantum if you like. But I noticed a difference, it's certainly rounder. And this is what got me excited. I was like, this actually looks like a comb, which you see how that is. It looks like a comb that's ready to go rock and roll in a show. It's very close to it, very close to it. So well done, Heiniger, that way. Yes, it's just a copy of your Quantum Plus, I'm guessing. Full thickness. You know, you get combs which are run in, which we're talking thickness this way on. So you get combs that when you buy them, I'm not sure if they're half, but they're certainly a lot thinner. And obviously the less meat that you're pushing through certain sheep, the less thick, the thinner your comb is, the less you're going to have to push, the more it's going to glide. But a lot of full wool ewes, we find here, this certainly has its place when you're getting into ewes, especially hill sheep. And for me, that looking at this, I was like, it's a perfect hill comb for the Cheviots. It's nice and round, and it's shaped so it looks like nothing's going to get shoved up in front of it, unlike the Caliber, which I'll do a review on that at some point. Of course, it all depends on the type of sheep you're shearing to what type of comb you need to use. So this is certainly a comb which here in the UK I think will be really popular with people. It does have a couple of things I'd like to point out though. It looks so round and it feels really good, but when you're using it and you're using that on fat sheep, this tooth here digs in a little bit. So you probably pay just to, if you find it's doing that with you, I only found it in really sort of beef sheep. The rest it seemed to ride over, you know, ones with excess fat. So I was certainly aware when I was using these combs that just to get some aluminium oxide 1200 sandpaper, just to give it a tiny bit of, just to take that little bit of point off there. It could be that they're also quite thin in the teeth, so that could have something to do with it. But that was really the only flaw that I could see. It serves its purpose. Regarding how it runs on the skin. The other thing that I did notice about it, so I like to shear certain breeds with my lead, as we call it, close up. So of course you've got the scallop there, you don't want to go up past that, you want to be below that, and you really want to be somewhere around about there. I do like mine a bit further up for certain types. And when you do this, you've obviously got your swings, you want to make sure your cutter comes right across, so that any wool going down in here is going to get gathered when that gets back across. So you need the same at the other side. And I found it quite tricky. I found it fiddly. It's almost like I couldn't get the swing over, obviously the handpiece and the chicken feet. And I was having to compromise with putting it about there and here. And it just felt a little bit fiddly, which you did get in the end, but I found it a lot harder to set up than any of the other Heiniger range of combs, even though it was meant to be the same width. I don't know if they've changed something in round about here, or it's just pulled out a little bit more there, but it is the same width, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's just a little bit tricky to set up. If you're leaving a bit more lead, you'll probably find it a bit easier. Just the way it matched up there didn't really make sense. Also, I'm using your diamonds, so maybe if you had thicker, like the edges, it probably wouldn't be much of a problem because they're a slightly chunkier type cutter. So it's such a fraction, it's such a tiny amount, but that was the only thing. So I would buy this again. If anyone asks if I'd buy it again, that's that covered. It's definitely a good comb to have in your armour, in your comb pouch. You should have different selection of combs because if you have a selection of combs, then it makes sense, because then you could, if one type of comb's not going, there's a good chance that then another one the same is not going to. So it's nice to grab something else. You might need something that's maybe not quite as round because it needs to get right underneath the wool, or vice versa. You might be using something that's too pricky, too pointy, and you're picking up skin and you've got some rounder combs there that you can just grab and put on, and you'll find that it goes better than others. So hope this helps anybody that's thinking about buying these combs. Yep, cheers.